Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. It's your brother Yahawashi Kazak, back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability, calling on the correct names, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash, as always. All right, got a little time at the plantation, man, so just hit the button, all right? And I think let's go into foolishness, okay? Let's go into foolishness and what it means to really be a fool, okay? So I want to get first of all, I want to get the definition on the internet, and I'll let them talk about it. Here it go. Fool, a person who acts unwisely or imprudently, a silly person. Trick or deceive someone, dope. Fool, silly, foolish. Okay? And another definition is a silly or stupid person. A person who lacks judgment or sense. So someone who lacks judgment or sense. Now, what are we on this earth? Talking to Israelites, right? Men, all right? What are the men of Israel? What are we? We are judges. We are to judge the nations, all right? We are to judge, we are the judges, man. We will judge the world. So those of us right now that lack judgment, that lack understanding, that lack wisdom, you are separated from Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And it's by choice, okay? Kind of righteous judges, right? It's by choice. Because you deny and you basically hate Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. So let's understand what wisdom is, first of all. Okay, this is Proverbs 1:7. The fear of Yahawah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Now, according to Matthew 28:18 and 19, Yahawashi has been raised up to a position where he has judgment. He has the power to judge you, the power to bring salvation, the power to bring vengeance. So let's read that. Matthew 28:18. And Yahawashi came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Rakakadash, the Holy Spirit. So therefore, you must also fear and honor Yahawashi, our King. All right, because he has been raised up. Let's go to Isaiah 53rd chapter and verse 10. Yet it pleased Yahawah to bruise him, he hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahawah shall prosper in his hand. Okay, so it pleased the Most High to bruise Yahawashi to redeem us in a sense, all right? That ultimate sacrifice, okay? But for a position to be granted right under Yahawah, that position, man. As Yahawashi asked to restore him back to that position which he had long ago, all right? If a brother know that precept, Baba Kashar, could you post it? Basically, loosely quoting, to restore me to that position that I had long ago or before, or something along that lines. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back to Proverbs, the first chapter. So the fear of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Now, once again, what is a fool? A silly person, a stupid person, a person who acts unwisely or imprudently. All right, let's get that word, imprudently. And that means not showing care for the consequences of an action. So you simply go on doing whatever, and you don't care about basically what's going to happen to you. Okay? Get these people up out of here. Anybody that's coming here talking crazy, because y'all are y'all helping the lesson, because y'all are being foolish. You're not caring about the consequences and what we're talking about. Foolish men to babble, to be full of confusion, to be defiled with what Babylon has taught you. Babylon is a very foolish nation. To be proud is to be foolish in that sense, where you come to a position of proudness and pride where you can't even realize your errors and your mistakes. Okay, so that's another sense of foolishness, man. And it's very silly. Esau, if you look at the origin, the like just the base level of Esau, he is a base man. He's the lowest of men. He's very foolish. He's very simple. He's very stupid. He's very simple, man. Like, this dude is not complex at all. We know what he wants to do. Okay, let's get it up out of here. I'm gonna keep getting you people up out of here. All right, Kawam, you got all access to block anybody you want. All right. We read the Apocrypha, Javon. Okay? We read the Apocrypha. The 14 books, we definitely go into the Apocrypha books. All right? So, once again, as the scripture says, a wise man holds his tongue. He waits to judge, so wait. Don't come in here thinking that I do not read the Apocrypha. That would be foolish of you to assume. You understand what I'm saying? So hold your tongue before you come in here assuming that we don't read the Apocrypha. Okay, brother? You understand how you were being foolish in that situation? Let's get that. All right? You're being hasty. This is Proverbs 14:29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. So you would take your time and you would examine the entire matter, right? But he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. You're quick to run into something. Let's say you're running through the jungle, man. You know, the Amazon jungle. You're just running about, and a person like that would just stumble into quicksand. Okay? You got to examine your environment first. You got to move with caution. It's snakes, panthers, all type of ravenous wolves around that could devour us. All right, let's get that, because that's another one. We have been sent out to be wise as serpents. So being in this truth, you are to be the opposite of a fool. This is Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. To be the opposite of fools. To be wise as serpents, knowing you have to wait to strike. You have to wait. That goes back to being observant, not being hasty. Holding your tongue. Letting men talk. Hearing out the matter. Hearing the entire matter. Examining the entire matter. And then speaking clearly. Speaking with a full understanding. All right? That's what we are taught to do by the elders and apostles and by the Spirit and by the Word and by our King Yahawashi, those that came before us. We are taught to be observant. I've been hearing it all week, man, to be real cerebral about this thing, to be precise, to be pinpoint, to sit back. Serpents, right? Once again, sit back and then strike. You hold on. You don't just go at something just because. you know? And harmless as doves, so we don't appear as threats. On my job right now, I don't appear as no threat. I'm just chilling, right? You know, I'm doing what I got to do. I'm getting my wages, right? So I can protect my family, because money is a defense. So I have to do that. I'm not going to be at the job preaching the word in that sense, telling all my coworkers, even though I know a lot of these guys are Israelites, man. You know, they don't know it. I know it. Based upon the spirit, based upon their speech, how they carry themselves, things of that nature. But it's not my position to do that right now. If Yahawah wants to pull them, draw them, as the scripture says, then they will be drawn. All right? So that also is an example of being wise and not being foolish. Because you have a lot of Israelites that are very foolish, that want the entire planet to know that they are Israelites. Okay? Like you want your glory and your fame right now. That's not the time, place. This is not the time and place for that. To you Akyam out there that are, you know, coming into this thing and being misled and taught the incorrect ways. Okay? I'm going to read this scripture one more time. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. You will be devoured. Right? You're in here as sheep in the midst of wolves. Animals. Things that seek to devour you and destroy you. Ravenous wolves. Things that want to rip you apart. Jake, don't you see? We are behind enemy lines. But you feel that it's okay to announce that you are the enemy. No, that's the incorrect vibration. That's what you have been misled upon. All right? Be ye therefore wise as serpents, opposite of fools, and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. So with that in mind, knowing that that time, place, it will come, but why be overwise? Why? Let's get that. All right, Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself overwise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Right? Being overwise is going against the words of Yahawashi. Be not overmuch wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? Okay? So, you know, you may eat sweets, things of that nature, right? That's not actually good for the temple. Brownies, cookies, you know. Not saying you wicked for that, but you know these things will eventually lead to health effects, health problems, right? Play video games. Video games ain't the most healthiest thing to do, right? Watching movies, listening to music, right? You have to have a what? A balance. A balance. Let's get that. This is Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, but a just weight is his delight. For his men to be in order and ready, balanced, knowing how to discern between good and evil, not foolish. A foolish individual is silly. They don't take anything serious. The definition said they don't care about the consequences. So a foolish individual would just speak, be rash, be hasty, boast, right? Not knowing that anything could take place. The scriptures speak about boasting not on the day. All right, let's get that. Boast not on the morrow. Because anything could take place. You don't know what's going to happen. You just got to hold on and ride this ride. Proverbs 27:1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. So don't be foolish in speaking about things that you don't know. You don't know what Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi has in store. You may be planning a trip for next month, right? Or the next month, and not saying that that's wicked. Hey, do what you do. But understanding that we could be gone next week. You know? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi could, bring that MOTB this weekend, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, right? Nukes could fly on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We could be up out of here on Saturday. We hastening the day. Okay? But even with that being said, you have to use wisdom to understand, hey, that could possibly happen, and I want it to happen, but I still got to move, and I still got to endure. I still got to go to the plantation. I can't be cussing people out because I think I'm about to leave. That would be hasty, right? So we got to understand our chastisement and take it all the way up into the end. That's why the scriptures talk about us not loving our lives unto the death. They love not their lives. Right? There ain't no position on this side of Babylon where we like, man, we love it here. No, we don't love it here. We ready to get up out of here. Always. We are judged daily, man. Going to the plantation and working. That's a judgment. Okay? Being in captivity. That's a judgment. This is the similarity of picking cotton. Okay? Understanding that. So you got to think about that. That's a judgment, isn't it? Just because it's in a different setting, it's still the same type of captivity. It's still the same type of slavery. You know what I'm saying? And those that are wise can understand that and see that. Let's go back to Proverbs, the 1st chapter. This is verse 8. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, Salakia, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lurk privately for the innocent without cause. And a lot of Jake don't understand, by joining hand in hand with a man that loves to see blood, you are doing this. You are going off. You are joining hand in hand with Esau, Edom. He loves blood. He loves to take down Israelites. He loves to take down his own people. Anybody he can take down, he doesn't care. He goes estranged from the womb, man. He's a very wicked individual. His thoughts are wicked. He is defiled. Isaiah 57:20, man, he's like a wave. Like the ocean. That's how he moves about. Let me get that. Okay? This is Isaiah 57:20. But the wicked are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt, mud. All right? Chaos is all that he has ever brought upon this earth. The trees, the animals, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the entire planet mourns and wants this man to be took off of his rulership position. And if you cannot understand that, then you are living in a foolish mindset, thinking that this is as good as it gets. Okay? This is not that. So going back to verse 8, my son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Who in that sense, right? Your spiritual fathers, all right? Wisdom in that sense as well, okay? These are the things you should be cleaving unto. Men that have taught you and raised you up spiritually the proper way. Okay, a lot of us brothers can sit right here and say, man, our fathers wasn't in our lives. Our fathers didn't teach us that much. You know, our fathers wasn't there, right? Yeah, I can count when I was a kid, the time that I saw my father. I can count on like the number of fingers on my hand, man. You know, maybe 10 times, if that, I saw my pops. And I forgave him for all that because I understand it's them curses. Even in the world, I forgave him for all that. All right? I'm not about to hold no grudge on a man. I don't know the whole situation. It is what it is. I'm sure it was a good reason or whatever. And we all got things to work on. So you can't sit here and be mad at your earthly father. All right? Knowing how wicked this place is and how strong this hold on, this place knocks down the Israelite man. It reduces the Israelite man. It poisons the Israelite woman's mind. It puts her at odds against the one that she is supposed to be under. It takes away his authority to where she wants to be under the authority of Esau Edom. Or she feels like she doesn't need an authority figure. She feels like she can do bad all by herself. So you have to take all those things into account and forgive your earthly fathers, man. All right? And more so, your spiritual fathers are there to help you and to guide you. You look at them. You take them. Let's get that, man. All right? Because you don't try to rebuke them and go at them and hate them. And right? The scriptures say, entreat him as a father. Let me see if I can find that. Entreat. This is 1 Timothy 5:1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. Now, this is speaking of a righteous man, too, because the scriptures also speak about, you don't want to be under wicked counsel. You don't want to be under a wicked individual. You should have enough discernment to understand if this man is wicked, I should not be under him. Okay, that's why we talk about brothers in the IUIC and ISUPK to come up out of that stuff. Brothers in the Sakari, you should, have enough discernment and wisdom to come up out of those wicked men, out of those wicked environments, wicked situations where men are getting extorted, unalived, beat up, right? You had that situation with that female, she got unalived, okay? So if men don't have enough discernment to come out of those situations, then obviously that's the Most High placing a delusion spell on them, a deep sleep. So that's why the scriptures talk about give double honors to those that are worthy, all right? Men that are worthy. At the end of the day, man, and treat him as a father and the younger men as brethren. So brothers that are coming up with you, man, right? They're his brethren. I don't care if a brother just came into the truth today. He calling on the name of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. He's sincere. He trying to get this doctrine. He in the live. He listening. He writing notes down. He ready to get busy with that sword. Hey, that's a brother, man. If he shows himself, he proves himself, you entreat that brother as a brother. All right? We don't esteem ourselves higher than any other man. Right? Let's get that. That's 1 Thessalonians 5:13. And to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake and be at peace. No, that's not it, but Salakia. Let's start at 12. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord, Yahawashi, and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves. Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient towards all men. So this is how we move about. This is what every brother should be on if you're a true brother in this thing, man. You should be esteeming brothers very highly in love for their work's sake. So what's the qualifications of that? Hey, brothers got to put in works. Brothers got to do what they're supposed to do. How am I supposed to esteem you highly for work's sake if you're not working? You take it into the account. Like, look at the job. You at job, you go to work, you working with a coworker. He's just sitting at the desk all day not doing nothing. And you doing all the work. And you supposed to esteem that man highly? Hey, bro, you did a good job today. He ain't do nothing. You're supposed to, hey, bro, you did a great job today, bro. No, I can't. That would be a lie. Okay? This is why brothers have to get busy in your form and fashion, your way, your gift. You have to support and help the body to the best of your ability. Yes, other brothers have higher measures of the spirit. Some brothers have lower measures of the spirit. This is why the scriptures say this. Let's read it one more time. Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient towards all men. That's brotherly love, man. See that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. So see that none render evil for evil. All right? Stop situations before they escalate. All right? Talk about it. Hey, help brothers, man. We should not be fighting one another in that sense. But ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. Feeble-minded brothers, man. Demons may be penetrating brothers' minds, presumptuous thoughts, things of that nature may be, some brothers are more susceptible to attacks. And we understand that. All right? Especially brothers coming in, man. When you first come in, hey, things is going to get you. You're going to get into it with your family. You might get into it with your lady. If you got one, you might get into it with whoever, man, your coworkers, things of that nature. We got to help brothers in that manner. Hey, bro, just take it slow. The elder Alliance of the 12 always say, man, take it day by day. Right? Don't get overwhelmed, because this thing will overwhelm you if you're trying to move too fast. You don't want to move too fast. Once again, that's a foolish trait. Getting back to the topic of the lesson. You want to move in wisdom, taking your time. Don't put on more than you could bear. All right? So let's go back to Proverbs, the first chapter. Because this is maybe a simple thing, wisdom and foolishness, but it's a key thing, it's a principal thing, it's the foundation. To fear Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. That's the foundation, right? Because if you don't have that, then you don't have anything, right? You can know all the precepts and all of that, but if you don't truly fear Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, what do you have? You got to have a true fear of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. All right? Verse 12. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. This is what the mind of foolish men think, that you're going to do all this wickedness and get away with it. Once again, Edom being a very foolish individual. Now you may look at his kingdom and be like, how is he foolish? He built this, he built that, he did this, he did that. Man, a spirit get upon me to go into it. How all those buildings in Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, a lot of these buildings that are there, those old buildings, they were already there. Tribe of Gad built them, okay? Northern Kingdom built them. Esau didn't lay his hands to build none of those. He just came in, ravished, and took over. All right? The Dodger Stadium, that was already there. You can go into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT how long it took to build the Dodger Stadium. It'll say 295 days, right? But then if you keep asking it questions, you'll understand it's about 500,000 tons of brick and stone that was involved. And you'll ask ChatGPT, how could they do that with horses and buggies? And ChatGPT will say, well, they couldn't. It would take them about 5 to 10 years to do that. So how did they build it in 295 days? All right? Which they claim, it's kind of off topic, but a foolish man to get back on topic, would just believe that Esau built these structures, would believe that Esau built the White House. Esau built, all these structures that's in this land that Esau came and took over. Even you go to Europe, okay? A lot of structures was there already built by the Moors. That's why we got to know our history, man. Okay? We was builders, man. We was sailors. We navigated the earth. We navigated, man. We moved about. We went back and forth. You can look in the Book of Kings. All right? King Solomon had them Hamites going back and forth to South America, bringing back peacocks, bringing back gold, bringing back apes. That's long before Christopher Columbus, as you know. Thousands of years before. Okay? About 1,000 and what? About 1,500 years before that happened. All right? We was selling. We was moving about. Northern Kingdom came over here 750, 700 BC time frame. Okay? It's still about 1,200, 1,300 years before Christopher Columbus stepped foot over here. And you think that we wasn't doing that stuff, man. Jake, when you know who you are, I promise you, it feels better. You feel a more sense of, love for yourself. You stop just looking at yourself as a damn slave. That's my history, right? You look at yourself like, man, this was us. We did so much. We are those people of the book. Exalt yourself in a sense. Not really exalt yourself, but our nation is great, man. That's what the elders was going into yesterday. How great our nation is. We have an amazing nation, bro. We are the greatest nation on this planet, man. And Salakia if I'm kind of low because I'm at the plantation. And I ain't trying to be loud, But I'm gonna get a little bit more and wrap it up, man. But we are a great nation, and we can't even imagine our kingdom. We can sit here and talk about it. We can get dreams about it and things of that nature, but those are just glimpses. Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi giving us teases of what's about to take place, man. All right? So let's jump down to Proverbs 1 and 20 and go through this whole segment. This is one of my favorite segments in the scriptures. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. Now a foolish individual is going to what? He's going to keep walking. He's going to walk by. He sees the sign. That's why we are ordered to be out on the streets with that stick. No, not a pew-pew, but that stick spoke of, all right, in the book of Ezekiel. So the 12 tribes, all right, allowing our people to see who they are. American blacks, Haitians, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, right? Mexicans, so-called, right? Allowing our people to see. You walk by this and you see that, but you care nothing for it. You don't care about the consequences. This was a vital moment. Vital means, going to the word vitality, meaning health, life. This was a chance to give you life, but you shunned it. That wisdom that was crying in the street. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse. In the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words. Saying. So, hey, brothers hit the streets. We hit the cities. We hit the corners. We hit wherever we hit. Okay? Because I see, this week you got certain... And I don't just call them what they is, man. You got certain clowns trying to call brothers bushmen because brothers is preaching what they preaching in fields and parks and things of that nature. Well, so what, bro? Okay? The unicorn does the heavy lifting. All right? Is the message incorrect? Is these brothers going off? No. All right, is the word coming out? The word does not go out void. So if a brother has, and it takes courage to get up and preach and teach, bro. And you trying to shun a brother just because he may be in a field or on a country road or somewhere like that, man. It takes courage. That's the spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi that moved that brother to first and foremost get a sign, the first and foremost get this understanding and go out there on the street and risk his life. All right? And you want to shun a brother for that, man. Some of you guys are so damn high-minded and over-righteous, man. Okay? She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates, in the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Meaning that you hate Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You hate this truth. You hate this body. You don't want to be a part of it. You don't want to be in unity with the hopeful elect. Okay? You have a grudge against Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And trust me, that's the worst type of grudge you can have, man. That's the wrong one. And you have a grudge against the Rakakadash. You're speaking against brothers that have the Rakakadash that's bringing it out. But you are going against those brothers. All right? At the end of the day, 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. And a lot of you Christians, a lot of you individuals, man, are going to see in those times of Jacob's trouble, Yaquab Cesar, that you set at naught all the counsel of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Even though you may call him God, and you may call the Son Jesus Christ. You set at naught the counsel because you continued to call on those false names, those false titles. You didn't want to get right. You didn't want to acknowledge that you are indeed a Hebrew Israelite. Okay? I don't understand why you don't want to acknowledge that you are the chosen nation, the one nation that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi has set above all nations, the apple of his eye, and you don't want to be a part of that. That's very delusional in your brain. You're letting Satan take you down with him. Verse 26, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Going back to fools despise knowledge. So Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is laughing and mocking all fools. This is the destination, the destiny of a foolish individual. Regardless if you are a heathen or if you are a 2/3 individual. You will be laughed at. You will be mocked. Because guess what? You walked around these streets. You drove around in your car. You blew your horn at us. You yelled at us. You threw stuff at us. Man, we get it all on them streets, man. All right? And brothers that go out, I know y'all feel it. We get it all on them streets. Okay? So you did all of this. You mocked and scoffed. You didn't think it was going to come back eventually? It's coming back. And it's coming back double fold, man. Okay? This is verse 29. No, Salakia. Let's read 27. Let's read 26 again. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And like father, like son, and then like our king, we going to be just like that. We going to mock and laugh. Just like Elijah mocked and laughed at you prophets of Baal. Maybe Baal is asleep. Well, maybe he's taking a break. Maybe say it louder. Maybe he'll send some fire eventually. I get a kick off of it, man. I love it. Because you individuals are crazy at the end of the day. You trying to go at Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. And the men that he has raised up. You are delusional. You are, boy, it ain't no type of crazy on this planet like that. You are the craziest crazy on this planet. That's what you are. top tier crazy. A1, grade A. 27. When your fear cometh as the desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anger cometh upon you. All right? You getting the opposite side of the whirlwind, because when Elijah was took up, you know, it was like a whirlwind. Okay? But he was protected. He was safe. He was beamed up in a sense. Translated, as the scriptures say, for Enoch. Okay? We hope to be translated. Your destruction will come like war of the worlds. You will be evaporated. All right? Eradicated. All right? Destroyed completely. Ashes. All right? Zechariah 14 and 12. You will feel pain after death. You're not supposed to feel that. You're supposed to go into the spiritual world and rest with your fathers. But no, you're going to feel it. You know, and all we can do is pray we not of that lot. Okay? Verse 28. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, because you were foolish in all of your ways. Let's get Proverbs 16 real quick, man. You didn't set your thoughts and your ways unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. This is Proverbs 16 and 1 through 4. The preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from Yahawah. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes. You thought everything that you did was perfect. You're above rebuke. You're unrebukable. Right? Men told you stuff countless times, but nah, that brother he don't know what he talking about. He hates me. He dislikes me. All right? This is how men think. Commit thy works unto Yahawah, and thy thoughts shall be established. So what does that mean? You got to meditate upon these precepts like King David did. You got to meditate on this word day and night like Joshua did. You got to live it. You can't just talk it, man. Your intentions got to be right. Your insides. Inside to the out. All right? You are judged on the inside. Not by what kind of car you drive. Not by what kind of clothes you have. Not by how many garments you have. Not by how many women you have. You are judged on the inside. What you truly felt. How you truly felt towards Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and the brotherhood, man. Did you truly work out this flesh? Did you work out your soul? Verse 4. Yahawah have made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. And a wise man is going to understand that. A foolish man is going to sit back and be like, why the wicked don't get punished? Failing to understand they are being preserved. Judgment will come to them suddenly. Okay? Finishing Proverbs first chapter up and, wrapping it all up. This is verse 28. Once again, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi will be hid to a foolish individual. Amos 8 and 11. Famine of the word. All right? You will not be able to enter into the chamber, the secret chambers. You will be shut off. The ark, the spiritual ark, will be closed to you. 29. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. So therefore they hated wisdom. Meaning that you hated life. Because those that hate instruction, you hate Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You hate life. You love death. That's what the scriptures say. Those that hate me love death. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. As the scriptures say, Sirach 18. Second Esdras, 9th chapter. Right? Starting around 9, going down. You despise the law. Alright? Loosely quoting. So you despised it, man. You hated it. You didn't, you mocked it. You scoffed it. Therefore you shall feel pain after death. Verse 31. Therefore shall they eat. It's Proverbs 1 and 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way. What did you put in? That's what you get out. These are the puzzle pieces that you have been putting together your entire life, Jake. You put this together. You put this together. You built this map. This is your graph, man. This is the stats that you've been putting together your whole life. You did this. You did that. Nah, don't act scared now. Nah, man, you did this, right? You went after that man's wife countless times. Who shall see me? You ordered the pork chop. You ordered the ham hocks. All right? You ate the shrimp cocktail. You got the lobster, the crab. You paid $40 for it. Thought it was top shelf. Okay? You did all of this, huh? You did this. You don't change up. As they say in the world, keep that same energy. Okay? 2 more. Matter of fact, 31 again. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely. The scriptures say, and Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi shall sustain us. He shall not suffer his righteous to be moved. Psalms 55 and 22, I believe. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. We shall be safe, under the shadow of thy wings. All right, let's read 32 one more time. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. You might have been prosperous in worldly wisdom, worldly devices. You knew how to scam, lie, cheat, steal, work the crypto, stock market, all of that. Not saying being in the stock market is wicked, but you put your entire faith into that. That was your life. You trusted in it. You learned how to work it to the T. So when it all crashed down, your entire life went crashing down. That happened in the Great Depression, man. You had millionaires taking themselves out because all their money, all their stocks, all their investments was going away with when Babylon crashed the first time. Guess what? History often does repeat itself. Okay? So when this place falls, expect a lot of millionaires and billionaires to collapse with it. All right? And Shalawam, Malak. All right? So, and it's very soon, man. And once again, going back to the scriptures, we're going to mock and laugh at your calamity. Because we didn't trust in none of that stuff. We trusted in who? Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Kakadash. That's what we put our faith in. So with that being said, Akyam, Akwathiyam, I'm going to end this one. It's been a quick at the plantation lesson, man. Just hit the button. All right, all praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, and Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, Shalawam to you, brothers and sisters, listening in order. Shalawam to you, sisters, as well. All right, Kwam Yasharahla, as always, and a Bible bar to this wicked kingdom. May this bitch fall soon. Shalawam.